Finally, we're going to go over adding and subtracting fractions. Now this is where we need a common denominator here. It does not have to be the lowest common denominator. That does make it simpler, like we said. It just needs to be common. So if you recall from what we did before, a quick way to find a common denominator is to multiply the opposite fraction by the other fraction's denominator. It's a hard sentence to remember. But what we mean by that is this 3, we multiply it by 4. And whatever we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. And then we do the opposite to the other fraction. This 4, we multiply by the 3. And whatever we do to the bottom, we must do to the top. So now our question will read 8 over 12 plus 18 over 12. Okay? Now, we have a common denominator of 12. When we add and subtract, our denominator does not change. Our answer will have a denominator, or the number on bottom, of 12. From there, we add or subtract, depending on the operation, the top of the fraction, the numerators. So 8 and 18 equal what value? That's right. 26 over 12 is our answer. We can reduce it, but if they don't ask us to, it's not the end of the world. Okay? This is that. Then you need to reduce it. Find a divisible value for both the top and the bottom. For instance, 2 goes into both of these, you'd end up with 13 over 6. Okay? Next question. Again, we need to find a common denominator. Now, I'm going to let you know. Actually, we'll do it in the second one. Here's a quick way to do the common denominator again. We know we just take the opposite value and multiply the opposite fraction by the denominator. Correct? Very simple. Gives us a common denominator. We get 8 over 16 plus 4 over 16. Our denominator stays the same. And 4 and 8 is 12. That's it. There's our final answer. We're going to use the same values, but this time we'll subtract. So in the first one, we already know our common denominator. What's it going to be? 12. So what do I got to multiply 3 by to get to 12? 4. And then whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. What do I got to multiply 4 by to get to 12? That's right. So we're working with the same fractions, just a different operation. We end up with 8 over 12. This time subtract 18 over 12. Our denominator will be what value? 12. What is 8 subtract 18? Negative 10. So our fraction is negative 10 over 12. Finally, this one we could do, but actually the lowest common denominator here is the value of 4. This can be simplified, this question, and this can be multiplied by 2. So if we want to find exactly the lowest common denominator, I'll multiply it, not by 4, but by 2. And this one we divide by the value of 2. You'll notice we'll end up at the denominator of 2 over 4, subtract 1 over 4. That is technically the lowest common denominator, but it doesn't mean we have to do it that way. Any common denominator works. Same idea, our denominator stays the same. And what's 2 subtract 1? Quarter is our answer.
25%.